A Biden blitz through Battleground, Pennsylvania tonight. The former VP making several stops in Philadelphia.
Every day is a new reminder of how high the stakes are, of how far the other side will go to try to suppress the turnout, especially here in Philadelphia.
Rallying supporters at a so-called Souls to the Polls event with faith leaders.
Being with you all reminds me of that gospel hymn that inspired so many of us. When I last talked to John Lewis as he's dying, he reminded me of it. I don't feel no ways tired. I've come too far from where I started from.
A drive-in rally aimed at delivering African-American support.
I'm a pastor, and so part of what it means to me is that people of faith exercise every resource at our disposal, and the vote is one of those resources.
Why are you supporting Joe Biden?
He knows how to help the country heal, and that's one of the things that we need to do, is we need to heal.
The Biden campaign looking to boost turnout in a state President Trump won by only about 44,000 votes in 2016. Pennsylvania considered crucial since its 20 electoral college votes could be the decisive tipping point. Running mate Kamala Harris hitting Georgia and North Carolina today.
We have to earn the vote of every person.
It all comes a day after the Biden campaign crisscrossed Michigan with former President Barack Obama. Obama winning raves on social media for sinking this three-point shot at a Flint, Michigan high school gym. The former president tweeting the viral video along with the caption, "Shoot your shot," to encourage voting.
And Jeff joins us now from Philadelphia. Jeff, the Biden campaign making some last-minute appearance plans?
That's right, Kate. Joe Biden is making a stop in Cleveland tomorrow. Campaign sources tell me they believe Ohio may be within reach. And the campaign announced today that both John Legend and Lady Gaga will join the Democratic candidates and their spouses when they return to Pennsylvania tomorrow to close out the campaign. Kate, Jose.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.